So is Lapis actually A tier? We're finally on chapter 17. Some people in the comments for the previous video in defense of Lapis mentioned that she'll fall off as you enter basically the mid to end game, like the end of the mid game, the beginning of the end game sort of situation. So we're on chapter 17, and let's just go through the time crystal to see how Lapis is doing. So here is Gris warping in. So begin player phase. So Pandreo debuffed Gris to reduce his speed. This is what I do on all of my runs. This actually put him just below Lapis's threshold to double. So she attacks and knocks off a health bar, and then dances, gets danced, and then kills him. So she's on Byleth, which does not help her, and she was using her main weapon, a Silver Lance. So she was able to double and one round him twice, back to back to kill him. And then as the match progresses, I'm just waiting for some enemies to get to me. We do a bonded shield, and enemy suicides on Ivy hilariously. They love to attack Ivy. Bonded shield is crazy. All right, and then Chloe gets a kill. Citrinne gets a kill. All right, so Lapis gets a kill. So in this situation, she does not one round that enemy mage because it has 1 point of speed higher. Now, if she was on Lucina or Lynn, she would have high enough speed to one round, but I put her on Byleth and did not use strength boosters or any kind of stat items on her to see how she performs without stat boosters on a bad emblem ring. Byleth isn't a bad emblem ring, but it's bad for physical units because its main appeal is the dancing utility plus the magic and range increase from Thyrsus, so it actually hyper enables certain mages, or most mages, like ground-based mysticals. All it's doing is giving her +2 speed, so if she just had more speed, she would be able to double and one round that. So I danced, just two rounded it, and then some of these other enemies were damaged and are getting cleaned up. Ivy one rounds another dude and then speed takers. The match continues. So there's an enemy archer at full health. To the north, you can see it there. You can kind of, here, I'll try to rotate it. You can kind of see it up there. So she actually can fly up and one round this outright. So that's pretty useful. Ivy attacks, kills something. Aaliyah attacks and kills something. And then as we continue, Rosaldo uses Twin Strike, and then Lapis kills this with a Silver Lance. So she's very relevant. She's definitely an A-tier unit. So she's leveled up. She snowballed herself just from being able to double consistently like Chloe. And as long as she has a strong, decent might weapon, like a Silver Lance, she's able to put in work and essentially be like a mini version of Chloe. So here's where we're at right now. This is the weapon she's using. I gave her Chloe's weapon because I'm trying Martial Master Chloe. Unfortunately, it's not that good, as far as I can tell. It seems to be quite terrible, actually. It seems to be really bad. Maybe it pops off as she levels up, but the problem I've found with it is that you need both magic and strength to scale, and getting both of them to scale is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But Lapis is doing fine. I don't see her... she has no strength increase, and she just has +2 speed. The magic and the luck do nothing for her. On Silver Sword, she still has decent damage, and she can still put things at 50%. But she's a Wyvern that can dive. Basically, she's about as good as Merrin or Chloe on Wyvern. And I think we're at a point where that's accurate. She's fast, she has decent damage on Wyvern. It's not the best, it's not like Panette damage. Very few things have Panette damage, though, to be fair. But she's been consistently killing things on this map. And this particular map was called out as one of the maps where she would be kind of bad on. But I'm sure she'll continue to scale well. 60% speed growth, 45% strength should scale well over time. And as long as she has a decent weapon, she'll be fine. All right, another thing to rule out is unit favoritism. No strength increases, no stat boosters of any kind. Else for weapons, this was literally Chloe's weapon, so she just inherited it. She had her own weapon that actually got moved to someone else. Here it is. This was her original weapon, so now it's just being used on Amber. So Amber has Brave Lance +1, which costs a lot of silver. I actually created this, so it cost me like 2 to 3 silver to get it and then +1 it. And then I have Silver Lance +1. I just started running Risotto, so I didn't have the resources to upgrade his weapon too much. And then Alir has Steel Sword +3. Chloe, I upgraded this. And then Thunder +4 with an engraving. Bolgadon +2 with an engraving. And Bolgadon is expensive to upgrade. This is not... this is a very expensive weapon to upgrade. I think it's like more expensive than silver. But honestly, like Ivy barely needs the upgrades. You just need a few as you enter endgame. Maybe +3, +4. And then you can stop. But silver weapons, generally you want to +3 to +5 them if you can. And it is expensive to do so. But yeah, I think she's a solid unit. She's about as good as Merrin or Chloe on Wyvern. And, you know, they just have slightly different stats. So yeah, definitely think she's an A tier. I think the results speak for themselves. The chest speaks for itself. But yeah, definitely like and subscribe if you found this interesting or useful. If you still aren't convinced she's a good unit. Some people, so here's the pushback that I have received. Oh, these are early maps, so it's easy. She, like Wyvern is just good. I don't think that's true. I think Wyvern is only good when you have the speed for it. Units that don't have the speed for it tend to be bad on Wyvern. And the only way that they would be good is if they had insanely high strength growth and you were running like some kind of Brave Axe build, or if they had high dex and you're running some kind of crit build, in which case that's not so much Wyvern popping off as like features of the unit popping off. But Wyvern can fix these low strength, high speed units and make them relevant and viable. So I don't think that necessarily Wyvern is what's making her good. I think her speed plus Wyvern is what makes her strong. So yeah, definitely like and subscribe, and I'll see you next one.